Fire Emblem Awakening. Roll credits. Fire Emblem Awakening is the next game that we are going to be talking about on the road to PAX West and the 3DS panel. What is up, you guys? Welcome to the collective. My name is Furman, and obviously we're going to be talking about Fire Emblem Awakening, like I just said 3 times. But before we get started, do not forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. Let's not waste any time and just get straight into it. Fire Emblem Awakening is pretty much solely responsible for all of these new Fire Emblem games that we've been getting. It was the game that just blew up. Like, the Game Boy Advance games were good, and Shadow Dragon on the DS was also really good, but there was just something about this game that, man, it just drew in a massive audience. I still can't believe it to this day, but this is the exact reason why Nintendo started pushing Fire Emblem so hard. It's because of how insanely well this game sold. So you can think of it as kind of like the granddaddy of Fire Emblem. And obviously I wanted to talk about this, but I actually don't even remember much of the game. It's been so long. I mean, Fire Emblem Awakening literally came out in 2012. So it's been that long. It's been super long, more than 10 years. So I'm going to be relying on my trusty dusty Wikipedia, and also, you know, I did look up a couple of videos and stuff like that, and I did just recently start playing it. So now let's talk about the story. The game takes place approximately 2,000 years after the events of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. Now, if you guys don't know, that is the original Fire Emblem game, and you know, they recently, well, not recently, but 4 years ago, 2020, they dropped that game digitally, and they also came out with a collector's edition for it, so really cool. But that is obviously the game that has Marth as the main character, you know, the one game that nobody played, literally. Back to the story. In ancient times, the fell dragon Grima attempted to destroy the world. To stop Grima, the divine dragon Naga chose the ruler of the Halidome of Elise, known as the First Exalt. She granted him power through 2 magical objects, forged from her fangs: Falchion, a sword with the power to slay dragons, and the Fire Emblem, a magical shield. The Exalt struck down Grima, sending it into a long slumber. In the time since then, the continents of Arcania and Valentia become known as Elise and Valm. By the present time, the land of Elise is divided between 3 countries. These are Halidome of Elise, which continues to worship Naga and is ruled by Exalt Emerin and defended by the Shepherds, the Kingdom of Plagia, which worships Grima, and Regna Ferox, a country whose rulers periodically compete for dominance. 15 years prior to Awakening, the last Exalt of Elise, Emerin's father, waged a religious war against Plagia, which greatly damaged both countries and left bitterness on both sides. Elise has slowly recovered from the war thanks to Emerin's peaceful actions. So that's basically the synopsis of the story. And then you get introduced to our character, our main character, which is Robin. Robin is basically you. He's the silent protagonist, and you get to play as this dude that looks a little bit mid, I'm not gonna lie. And you know, you obviously have Chrom and his gang of misfits. You know, the game is as Fire Emblem as it gets. I mean, it looks gorgeous, it plays really good, it's super awesome, but this also adds a little bit of time travel. We have a character who is a masked character in this game, and they introduce themselves as Marth. Now immediately I'm like, something seems a little bit off here, because this Marth character kinda doesn't really look like a man, and last time I checked, Marth is a boy, so yeah, that's kind of weird. But you know, we play the game and we find out that this is Lucina, and you know, she's got her whole story arc. I don't want to ruin it if you guys haven't played it, but you know, there's a lot of plot points in the game and a lot of drama and craziness that happens, and you're kind of connected to like the main evil bad guy, And at the end of the game, depending on who kills the main villain, you know, the villain either goes back to slumber or you finally vanquish him and, you know, you end up kind of disappearing, which they go on a crazy fetch quest to find you. And when they do, you get a cutscene much like the beginning of the game, but you don't have the emblem on your hand. So yeah, you actually killed the bad guy. Now this game is absolutely gorgeous, and honestly one of the reasons that popularized it so much is the fact that it was one of the first games to start doing that weird kind of CGI anime-esque look. So it's like 3D looking, but it's also anime, and it's like semi-cell shaded. It's kind of hard to describe, but Fire Emblem, this is like their art style essentially. And for the 3DS time, you know, the 3DS came out in 2011, so a year after, and we get a game like this. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous, and it was so much fun too. The replayability is absolutely insane in all of the Fire Emblem games, but I feel like this one has it slightly more higher than all the other games. Now, obviously, comparing it to the graphics we have nowadays, you know, the game is not exactly the best looking game. But because of the fact that it also uses anime drawn portraits, the game still looks and plays really good. I mean, it is obviously one of those games where you just kind of want to replay it all over again, which is actually what I'm gonna do. Now, I will say this: the only thing that was really weird about this game is the character it's not exactly a chibi model. Like the in-game character that actually does the fighting, it's 3D. And they're kind of smallish looking. They're like a medium-sized character, I guess. And they do look a little bit weird. And I've always thought it was really weird that they had no feet. They had like feet nubs. So that made no sense to me. But I'm sure it was, you know, to cut down on memory or something. Something that has to do with like the frame rate and the way the game runs. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. But honestly, like I said in the beginning of this video, this game is literally responsible for us getting all of these different Fire Emblem games. And honestly, one of the greatest Fire Emblems literally came out right after that. And it was Fire Emblem Fates. This was a solid entry. Not only because it wasn't just one game, it was literally 3. So, well, technically 2. You get Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, Conquest, and then the middle one, which I can't remember. But the best part of this thing was the fact that it came out with a limited edition 3DS console, which was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it was black and white, and oh my god, I actually did own it back then, but I was stupid and I made a huge mistake. I didn't treat it as good, and it got all scratched up and ugly, and then I ended up trading it into GameStop. So dumb. But yeah, long story short, this game is awesome and you should definitely play it. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, do not forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. And we will see you guys on the next video. Peace. Video 3 down. I feel like each day we approach PAX West, I get even more excited. But even more nervous because I've literally I haven't left the state in a long time. Like a very long time. So wish me luck.